Hi, Ashley here with HeartHookHome.com, and today we are going to work up a small swatch of my simple Tunisian chevron throw pattern. This is a new pattern that is out that is very mindless and very easy to do, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Let's learn how to make this simple Tunisian throw. For my throw, I used Hirschner's worsted yarn. This is the 3-ounce skeins. This is the Aran colorway. There's goldenrod, lingonberry, and I think this is jade. Beautiful colors together. This is a 100% acrylic yarn that is worsted weight, and look how every single one of these has the yarn tail just waiting for me. Every ball that I made, that whole blanket, loved it. So in order to make that, I'm using a little ball left over from crocheting the blanket. I am going to use a 7mm Tunisian crochet hook that has a cable on it. You can use a shorter cable or a longer cable. You should be able to fit all of your stitches on this hook. So if you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I do recommend going and watching a few of my other video tutorials, specifically the Tunisian simple stitch. That is the stitch that we will use to create this blanket. Instead of starting the full pattern with 197 chains that's needed for the full throw, I'm going to start with a smaller swatch that we can crochet together. You want to go ahead and do your chain 197. I am going to do a chain 43. When you get your completed chain, we're going to find the second chain from our hook, and I'm going to go into the back bar, and I'm going to pull up a loop in each of these chains all the way to the end. Now that we've got all of our loops on our hook, it is time to knock them off in the backward pass. To do that, and this will be the backward pass for this row and all remaining rows, we're going to yarn over, pull through one, so just a chain one. Now for the rest of the row, I'm going to do a yarn over, pull through two. Yarn over, pull through two. Two, 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 all the way until we get all of these loops knocked off and we only have one loop left. All right, when you get all the way back, if you're following the pattern, you should have 197 of these beautiful little stitches. Now, for the next row, this next row is going to be the same row that we do over and over and over for the entire blanket. The only difference is that we're going to be changing out colors every 12 rows. So, this is the row we're going to do over and over again. You're going to yarn over, you're going to Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch. So right here, under that vertical bar, and pull up a loop. Now you're going to simple in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to do a Tunisian simple 3 together. So we take these next 3 stitches and go under all of them and pull up a loop. This one I do tend to have to pull just a little bit tighter, otherwise it can be a little bit loosey-goosey later on. Now that we've done that decrease, we're going to simple in the next 5 stitches. So the next vertical bar right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to yarn over, do a simple in the next stitch here. And now we're going to yarn over and do a simple in the next stitch. And now we're just going to repeat that all the way to the end of the row. So I'm going to simple in the next 4. Tunisian simple 3 together. Remember, do that a little bit tight like that. And now we're going to go into the next 5 stitches. Now we're going to yarn over and simple. And now we're going to yarn over, simple, do the next 4 stitches. Now we're going to do these 3 together. Now we're going to simple in 5. And when we only have this edge stitch remaining, we want to make sure, yarn over, go into both sides of that edge stitch so that you can see both sides of the V of the side of that stitch. Pull up that loop. And now that you've got all of your loops on your hook, we're ready to do our backward pass. So chain 1, and just like we did before, we're going to pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way to the end. Beautiful. Now you can see that the Tunisian shape is starting to take form, so you're always going to have a peak and a valley and a peak and a valley and a peak. So let's do one more of these together so that you can see where to place this decrease specifically. We're going to do this, like I said, each color block on the blanket is 12 rows. So this is 12 rows, this is 12 rows, this is 12 rows. And so at the end of this next row, I'll go ahead and change colors to a different so that we can see how to change those colors as well. So we're going to yarn over, simple in the next stitch. So this first, not this outside bar, but this first one here. So we yarned over, go into that one. We're going to pull up a loop in the next 4. And now you should have the next 3 stitches. You should have one on this side of the previous decrease, one in the middle of the previous decrease, and one on the left side of the previous decrease. So I'm going to go underneath all 3 of these and pull up a loop. And remember, we're going to do that just a little bit tighter because it does tend to get loosey-goosey on the back. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is your increase from the previous row, so it's kind of at a diagonal, so make sure you pull that loop as well, and that is number 5. And now we're going to yarn over, go into the peak, right? Not the valley, the peak. Yarn over again and go into this increase here. The increases always look like diagonals. So pull that loop there. And now we're going to continue until we get down to the decrease in the valley. Now we've got one on the right side, one in the center of that decrease, and one on the left side. So let's pull up those 3, a little tight, and continue on to the peak. The final increase, or the final one before the increase, is this diagonal one here. That's number 5. So now we yarn over, simple, yarn over, simple, all the way down to the valley. And now we've got those 3 centered on top of the previous decrease. And now we're going to go up to the end. And this final increase here, this diagonal right here, is your 5th. So make sure you go into that one as well. And then always, always, always do a yarn over before you pull up this edge stitch for this chevron. So now we're ready to do our backward pass. So I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to pull through 2 all the way to the end. When I get to the end, I will change colors with you so that we can see how that's done on our blanket. Like I said, 12 rows per color, and that's just shy of 1 skein. So 12 rows equals basically 1 skein, which is a great way to mindlessly incorporate color work without having to actually change colors only when required. So now I'm going to pretend that I want to change to this green, this jade here. When I get to the end of the row, I'm going to leave these 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to kind of hold this yarn down in the back. I'm going to get my new yarn. We'll just pretend I'm using this green. And instead of using the white yarn, I'm going to use this green and pull through those final 2 loops. And now I would like to do a small little knot in the back just to keep it from going anywhere. And now I can pick up with my green and do my yarn over, go into this one, and do my simple all the way across my chevron. So that is all there is to this beautiful throw pattern. I hope you love it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I can't wait to crochet with you soon. Thanks for watching.